All right, guys. Welcome to the Speed Addictions channel. Just wanted to throw together a video regarding Raz Shifrin's new Perfect Pass. Got an opportunity to utilize it yesterday for the first time, and I definitely was pleased with the results. If you looked at the video that I posted up, I think it was on Tuesday, you'll see that video post up with the Arma Typhon. I think it's titled something to the extent of Raz Shifrin's Perfect Pass, testing it out. But I did want to go down and do not necessarily in detail review, but a little bit more of a detailed review for kind of the average user. So I consider myself that average user quite a bit. Just got into the RC hobby myself back in February of this year, and got into the speedrun game back in May. So quickly progressing within that and trying to get better with it. I got this as something that I can kind of see where my skill is versus what I know is going to be perfect. Obviously, we all want to perfect our skills and get better at what we do. And I think it's one of those things where we can kind of see what is our combination that we put together, and is it doing what we truly think that it should do. So I went ahead and purchased this. This was not sent to me, anything like that. I did purchase this with my own money. And I wanted to go ahead and put out a review of it because like I said, I used it yesterday, definitely liked it quite a bit. And I'll continue to use it and have fun with it. It's definitely one of those things that, when I want to make sure that I'm keeping my skill fresh, definitely continue to just do it the old way. But this thing is definitely going to change the game of speedrunning, and even for the guys that are doing the drag racing. So this is my Arma Typhon. This is what I used it in. As you can see, it's XLX powered. It's got a TP 2250 kV motor, and it's running the NTF Racing fans, Saga gears, Saga wing, GRP S5 tires seem to be my tire of choice. I know a lot of people don't have so much luck with them, but I personally do. So enough about the car, enough of all the rambling. I'll go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of what this video is about. So this is about Raz Shifrin's Perfect Pass. So essentially it is a potentiometer, is to what my knowledge is of this. And it's simply a little chip. This is what you get in the package. And it also comes with this detailed instructions on how to install and what all to do. I know some of us have a hard time with reading and following directions, and I myself was included in that. I actually did reach out to Raz to make sure I was doing it right, but and he gladly helped me out, no problem. But I do want to put this video out for those who may have some opportunities with it. So again, this is the unit itself. It's just a little chip, and it's got this small dial on it. Keep in mind, when you get this, it's not going to come in any preset form or anything like that. What it does come, though, is it comes essentially in like a beginner mode. If you have Traxxas vehicles, some Traxxas vehicles come in a beginner mode. This is kind of the same way. So with that being said, there's a process to go through with binding in order to make it to where it's not in a beginner mode. And I do have a battery here and my control that we'll go ahead and use, and we'll set it up the right way and kind of show you guys how it works. So again, it's very simple. This is going to be put in place of the actual, the ESC wire is going to go into here. As you can see, I've got a Castle link on there so I can easily get my data logs. And it'll still work with that. So here is the whole mess of wires. I hate how we have this with these, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and install it real quick and just pull the wire, throughout the ESC wire out of the receiver itself. Simply plug this thing in, and then this wire, the other end, will go into your receiver. Just remember, ground is always towards the outside. And make sure it went in all the way, or all the way in. And it's that simple. So obviously you have, in my case, all these wires. And this is a limitless receiver box that I put on this thing to try to give me some extra room. And as you can see, it quickly filled up with all this extra stuff. So this is the unit. It's installed now. It's ready to be used. I always look at this when I'm making the dial adjustments on it. I go ahead and it does say Perfect Pass on there. I'll kind of zoom you guys in there. So it's Perfect Pass right there. So I kind of hold it in that form. just to make sure that I'm looking at it in the right way. But one of the first things you want to do right off the bat, go ahead and turn this dial all the way to the left. And before you even plug your battery in, just go ahead and turn it to the left. I'll go ahead and power this thing up. One of the big things that you want to do, depending on the control that you've got, I'm using a 7PXR, but one of the biggest things you want to do is make sure that you are changing your throttle trim down to -100. So that's one of the big keys to this. That's basically how you take this out of beginner mode. When you want to get this thing to where it's not going to have such a delay off the start where it becomes a problem, makes it a little bit more difficult to drive at some points. You got to take it out of that beginner mode and setting your throttle trim to -100. And I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick and show you guys. And so for me, I have it right here. So for mine, you guys can see now it says B100. That means it's on 100% negative. It's in the brake section or area. And if depending on your ESC now, I use Castle ESCs. So if you have a Castle, you know how to recalibrate, I hope. I'll go ahead and hold your full throttle. So again, let me just reiterate before I go ahead and do that. So dial is all the way left, all the way to the left. And then on your transmitter, your throttle trim is all the way negative. Now I'm going to hold my full throttle. This is kind of difficult to do with these connectors. So at this point, the car has been recalibrated with the perfect pass installed. I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing up on a stand real quick so I can show you guys kind of how the throttle is working. I should probably just go ahead and disconnect the pinion from it. It'd be a little bit easier, not so dangerous. So paying attention to the minute that my finger touches, it's immediately sending the tires going. So what that's doing is this is not controlling any gain at this point. What you want to do is, if you go ahead and now unplug, so any settings that you're going to make to this thing, you want to do it with no power connected. So kind of like any settings you make on your ESC, you always power down, power back on. Kind of the same thing. One of the big deals is make sure you are fully dead. For those of us running cat packs or receiver packs, any of that stuff, make sure that you're not getting any steering out of it, anything like that at all, because then your adjustments won't take effect. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the perfect pass, and I'm going to turn it all the way right just to show you guys kind of how it works. I'll go ahead and replug. So at this point, perfect pass is now completely installed. So I should have a delay when I go full throttle. So I'm going to go ahead and so it gets rid of that hesitant delay that a lot of people were seeing on videos. I'm not sure if you guys can really make out what that's doing, but it's definitely a very, it's giving you throttle still, letting you be able to control it to make your turnaround, but it's definitely making it delayed. So when I go full throttle, I'm not getting a blast of full throttle. So if you guys are familiar with anything to do with a Castle ESC and TP power motor, you know damn well that if you were to mat the throttle like that, go full blast throttle, you shake the tire off the rim, especially on these GRPs. So full throttle. it's a very delayed increase. And again, that's all the way right on the perfect pass. So that's the most gain that you can do. I don't set it that way personally. I've been going kind of figuring out where I like it most. But so far it seems to be halfway. That seems to kind of be like the point where I like it just yet. But again, still playing with this thing, still figuring it out. So I'm going to continue to play with it and see how I like it. Not how I like it, I know I like it, but see where I like it. That being said, I did kind of want to show a close-up of this, because I think a lot of people might be wondering exactly what it is or how it works or anything like that. So on the perfect pass itself, that's the dial. That little dial there, you can see there's some notches that go around the screw itself. Those notches are not, 1%, 10%, 3%, whatever. They're not percentage markings that go all the way around. What I was kind of thinking about is that at some point when I find kind of the spot where I like it, I would draw a line going from the yellow screw all the way to the one of those notches or whatever. So this way I know, okay, this is the spot where I like it best on this particular car, and go from there with it. So kind of just food for thought as to how you can kind of mark out. At this point in time, there's no, percentage hash marks that tell you that, when you do it this way, this is what you're going to get out of it. Another good thing to note as well, the recalibration process. So I can go right now and turn all the way left again, and I don't have to recalibrate it. Now I can make that change to wherever I want, and then when I power back the ESC, it's going to be set to that mark. So it's going to be set to where I had it at that point. So you only recalibrate one time. You don't got to recalibrate every time you power the car back on. You don't got to recalibrate anytime you make an adjustment. You just recalibrate the one time. But the big thing, again, make sure that your throttle trim is negative 100, and make sure that you are all the way left on this dial. So all the way counterclockwise. So you want to go left. So again, all the way left on that dial, recalibrate, and from there, you should be out of that beginner mode. And it takes that real long hesitation out of it. It makes it a whole lot better to drive. I know that some guys were having some issues, and myself as well, going down to start my speed run and making the turnaround. It was definitely getting kind of challenging to make the turnaround, just for the simple fact that that delay was there. But once I went ahead and recalibrated and did it this way, made the world of difference. So made it much more enjoyable. Like I said, at first it was a little hard to get used to, but now with this recalibration, I don't see it being that hard to use. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video here. If anybody has any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask the question in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for some more speedrun stuff. I did just get my limitless to go 150 mile an hour, open wheel limitless. So with that being said, there'll be more to come on that car. Hoping to push that car deeper into the 150s and continue getting this guy here into the 140s. And then I have a GT car build that's on the way. It's up on top of the shelf there. That is XLX2 powered with a TP motor as well. I'm going to be run on 8S. So that being said, guys, thank you again for watching. And if you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, guys.